Hello, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. Happy scoping out. We kind of have a follow-up scoping out today from last week because last week I was talking about motivation and the question popped up later. How do I know the difference between just total burnout and that dip, that cycle that's so normal that I talk about all the time? And how do I know the difference between that and the time to just change and move on? Quit that soul sucking job, leave that soul sucking relationship, whatever it is, right? And we've talked about this before. I really could just give you the short answer and you could just take it and run with it. There is a tool in this book called the Body Compass. It is not my tool, it is Martha Beck's tool. You can also find it in her book in Steering by Starlight, I believe is the name of that one, or Finding Your Way in the Wild New World. I think it actually might be in both. But I put it in here too. And I also put it on my website at tiffanyhammond.com/body compass, where you have a guided meditation. Let me tell you what happens. So what we do when we're going back and forth about should I, shouldn't I? First of all, let's be honest. You know if you should leave the soul-sucking job, right? Like, come on, it's just a matter of when and what are you willing to give up, because it is kind of an opportunity cost. But okay, so let's say you've done your pros and cons list and you still don't like the outcome, right? Because the pros cons still says good income, possible promotion in a year, you'll have tenure in so long, or whatever the things are that we try to talk ourselves into this just miserable existence, right? So this tool, the Body Compass, is a way for you to get out of that ego push and pull back and forth thing that the limited mind does, the ego mind, the Maslow's hierarchy mind that is just trying to get by and get the bills paid, right? The Body Compass gets us deep into that subconscious, into that expansive mind, into our deepest truth, our highest truth. And the reason why it works is because the subconscious works in symbols, it works in feelings and metaphor, right? And people talk about the knot in the stomach, or the fire in their belly, or the frog in their throat. These are all metaphors that have come up because the subconscious speaks to us through the body. So what the Body Compass does is it gets you really in tune with the differences between pride and anger, which happen to show up in the same spot, that like fire spot. But there's a difference between feeling really prideful and glowy, and it comes from that solar plexus, and it's wonderful, and anger when you're covering up some sort of frustration or betrayal or whatever it is that's coming from that same space, right? So the more in tune you are with how the body's communicating with you, the more in tune you are with your subconscious and your higher wisdom, then these decisions become easy. And if you couple it with what I've got in here as well, called the litmus test, the litmus test takes that, it allows you to take your limited mind pros and cons list, because we don't want to ignore the things that have given us a reason to stay. We don't want to ignore what we've already said we valued, right? So the litmus test takes the idea that our limited mind might know a thing or two. It's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to do its job. And it puts it with this expansive mind so we can see this balance and we can get them working together like this. Right? Instead of being like, oh, I know I should do this, but I really want to do this. Or the responsible thing to do is, but I really want to do, right? So we stop doing this tug of war with our knowledge versus our wisdom. So what you want to do, it is a long exercise, so it's too much to put into one of these scopes. You really do want to either check out Martha Beck's books, go get this book on Amazon, or actually do both of these. Get this book and get the recording on the website, tiffanyhammond.com/body compass. It's free. Go get it and listen to it. It's guided. It'll walk you through the whole process, and it'll get you into that space. Once you're in that space, you imagine yourself. Once you have the tool in place and you know how your body responds when you're on the right track, and you know how your body responds when you're not, go into that meditative space. Imagine being done with that soul-sucking job. Imagine being done with that soul-sucking relationship, and see how the body reacts. See what the body's telling you. And it might actually tell you want to resolve this first. It might actually tell you, yes, leave, and you take yourself with you. So work on this other thing that's been there, not just in the job, but in your relationship, in your home, this thing that sort of like follows you around. It'll show you exactly where your healing is. And it'll show you exactly what opportunities you have now to exercise, not just the healing portion, but the growing portion of these sides of you that you want to develop, that you want to move forward. So the big question is really answered by, it's a quick answer, use the body compass and the litmus test, right? Quick answer. But it is a practice. So I want you to, your homework and my homework today is to get more and more in tune with our bodies, more and more in tune with that guidance system. I'll tell you guys, this works every time, because there are times when my limited mind wants to tell me, no, 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 don't do it. It's scary. It's ooh. And my expansive mind is, this is a great opportunity to let go, forgive, move on, exercise grace. Oh, right. This is my opportunity to grow. And it can completely guide me in a totally different way. And if you remember these videos from around the election, and how I found forgiveness, and all of these other things that have come up for me in the last year, you'll know that this is a tool that works not just in terms of decision making, but it works in terms of finding that gracious, beautiful, passionate, forgiving place for people in your life that you may not necessarily get a gift from otherwise. The gift of patience, the gift of grace, the gift of forgiveness, those kinds of gifts, right? So give it a practice, give it a whirl. Let me know how it goes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss a single one of these. You can also come live Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Give yourselves a giant hug from me, and good luck getting in touch with that body. It's gonna work. It's like magic. There's no push and pull anymore once you start making decisions like this. It's pretty great.